The message came in just after dusk. A single line glowing on my phone. You are no longer family. All communication goes through my attorney. It was from my father, Richard Halden. I stared at the words. They felt clinical, almost administrative, like a memo sent to the wrong department. My thumb hovered for a second before I typed the only reply I had left in me. Understood. No argument. No plea. No attempt to fix something that had already rotted through. I placed the phone down and opened my laptop. If he wanted distance, I would give him the cleanest version possible. The mortgage payment came first, $3,200 wired every month for 4 years straight. $153,600 in total. I clicked cancel and watched the screen confirm the end of it. Then, the family cell plan. Then, the business credit line I had co-signed for him when his pride was still intact. Each confirmation ding felt like a string snapping loose inside my chest. My phone buzzed again, but not from him. A notification from my story community channel lit up. A reminder I had scheduled earlier that week. Share where you're listening from tonight. I let out a breath that wasn't quite a laugh. Even that small message felt more human than the one my father sent. I shut the laptop. For the first time in years, the room felt steady, the air easier to breathe. There was no triumph in the silence, only clarity. My father had drawn a line. I had simply stepped to the other side and closed the ledger behind me. The video arrived the next morning while I was brushing crumbs off my kitchen counter. A message from my uncle, Peter Halden, blinked on my screen. Marin, you should see this. I do not think Richard meant for anyone else to watch it. I hesitated before tapping play. The footage shook like someone trying to hide a phone under a napkin. Voices filled the frame first, familiar, loud, comfortable without me. Brad's laugh cut through the noise. Marin still thinks paying the bills makes her special. A woman I recognized, my Aunt Veronica, snorted. She always tries too hard. It is almost sweet. Then my father's voice, smooth and amused. Let her. She has always needed to prove herself. She is dependable. The kind of child who handles the messes the rest of us do not want. Glasses clinked. Someone toasted. The words were not cruel in volume, but they carried the easy confidence of people who believed the subject of their joke would never hear them. I watched the video twice, then a third time. Each replay tightened something low in my stomach. Not pain exactly, more like recognition. My absence had not been an accident. It had been convenient. Another message from Uncle Peter followed. I thought you should know, I typed back. Thank you. My hand was steady. My heartbeat was not. 4 years earlier, I had been sitting at my small desk in my old apartment when my father called me in a tone I did not recognize. It was thin, scraped raw. Marin, we need your help, he said. The house is in trouble. The bank wants the full payment by the end of the month. Elena, my stepmother, took the phone next. Her breath trembled. We could lose everything. You are the only one who has always been responsible. I remember pressing my fingers to my forehead. How much? $3,200 a month, Richard answered. Just until the business recovers. You know I would do the same for you. He never would have. But back then, I still believed some loves could be earned. I agreed, and the silence on the line broke into relieved sobs. For the next 48 months, I wired the payment without missing a single one. $153,600. A number I never said out loud because doing so felt like exposing a bruise I kept pressed under cloth. At family gatherings afterward, Richard would pat my shoulder in front of guests. Marin is our rock, he'd say, always dependable. Brad would smirk at me over his drink, the kind of smile that said gratitude was optional. One night, when I asked Richard if the business was stabilizing, he waved his hand. Do not start questioning me. You promised to help. Do not make this difficult. I stopped asking. Stopped expecting anything except the same cycle of need, praise, and dismissal. The payments became a rhythm, a quiet tax I paid to prevent chaos. Not generosity, not love, just the cost of keeping the peace long enough to breathe. 2 days passed after I canceled everything. I expected noise calls, accusations, the usual storm. Instead, the silence held until Tuesday morning, just as I poured coffee into a chipped mug I had kept since college. The first call came from Elena. She did not bother with hello. "Marin, what did you do?" "The bank called your father. The mortgage payment was rejected. It is due today. Fix this now." Her voice was high and sharp, the same tone she used when a dish broke or a delivery was late. "I cannot fix it," I said. "I was informed I am no longer family. All communication goes through your attorney." She inhaled so quickly it whistled. "Do not repeat his words to me. You know he did not mean it." I took him seriously. I said. I ended the call before she could respond. A second later, my phone buzzed again. This time it was Brad. "You are pathetic," he wrote. "Dad is drowning because of you. You better fix this." Another text came from Veronica. "Your mother would be ashamed. Stop playing games and apologize." It went on like that message after message, each one assuming I would fold, that I would come back the way I always had. I scrolled through the thread, past old reminders and half-hearted thank yous, until I reached the messages from 4 years ago, the ones where they had said I was the only dependable one, the child who saved them. I opened my laptop again. My fingers hovered over the keyboard as the shape of an email formed in my head, measured, factual, cold enough to cut through every lie they had told about what I owed them. I started typing. I drafted the email slowly, letting each sentence settle like a stone dropped into deep water. No adjectives, no blame, just facts. Subject: conclusion of financial support for Richard Halden. Full transparency attached. I wrote, "As of Sunday evening, I was informed that I am no longer family. This message is to confirm the end of all financial support provided over the past 48 months. Then, the ledger one line for each payment. $3,200, month after month. $153,600 in total. Last, the video, the shaky recording, the lifted glasses. My name turned into a family hobby." I paused before attaching it. My throat tightened, not from doubt, but from the weight of how long I had carried this alone. When everything was in place, I hovered over the word "send." My finger trembled once, then steadied. I clicked. The email disappeared into the world with a soft whoosh. Minutes later, my screen lit up with a new message from a law firm I did not recognize. A formal letter unfolded in front of me, accusations of defamation, reputational damage, malicious interference. They demanded a retraction and $50,000. I read it twice, then set my jaw. This was not about protection. It was intimidation wrapped in legal language. I called the only attorney whose name I trusted from my professional circles, Allison Trent, a family and financial law specialist in Denver. She answered on the second ring. "Allison, it's Marin Caldwell. I need help. Send me everything," she said. Her voice was sharp, controlled. "And Marin, do not let them scare you. Empty threats are loudest when someone has something to hide." I forwarded the documents, the video, the ledger. A few minutes later, she replied with one line. "We are not defending you. We are investigating him." Allison called 3 days later, her voice flatter than usual. "Marin, I have reviewed your father's filings. I need you to sit down." I lowered myself onto the edge of my couch. "Tell me." "He has been siphoning money from the Harrison Medical Fund, $82,000 over 3 years. Small transfers, masked as reimbursements." I closed my eyes. "So it was never just incompetence?" "No," she said. "This was deliberate." The line stayed open, both of us breathing into the space between truth and consequence. That evening, my phone buzzed again, this time with a name I had not seen in years. Jenna Halden. Her voice trembled the moment I answered. I saw your email, she whispered. Marin, I am so sorry. I swallowed. Sorry for what? For not saying anything earlier. A shaky inhale. When I was 16, I stayed at your house for a week. One night. Your father came into my room. He stood over me and said I should not make noise. I screamed. Veronica told me the next morning that I must have imagined it. She said if I talked about it again, I would ruin the family. My grip tightened around to the phone. Jenna, he hurt you. He tried, she said, but she hurt me more by protecting him. After she hung up, I sat in the dark until another call came. Linda Rowan, my late mother's closest friend. Your mother wanted to leave him, Linda said, but he controlled every dollar she touched. He made her believe she was weak. She died thinking she had failed you. My voice cracked. She did not fail me. No. Marin, Linda said softly. He failed all of you. You were just the only one brave enough to break the pattern. I pressed my palm over my eyes. The truth did not free me. It rearranged me. News in Colorado Springs travels like wind through dry grass. By the end of the week, people were already whispering soft, cautious, careful not to say my father's name too loudly. I watched it unfold from a distance, the way you watch a storm creep over the mountains, slow and inevitable. Then Brad snapped. He posted a long, frantic message on his social feed. His words tumbled over each other, desperate and sloppy. My sister is destroying our family. He wrote, she has always been jealous. She is twisting everything. That missing $82,000 is not what she is making it sound like. She had access to Dad's books for years. Within minutes, screenshots flooded my phone. Allison called before I could even finish reading them. Marin, she said, almost incredulous. Your brother just confirmed every detail the Harrisons needed. He admitted the amount. He admitted your auditing role. He tied himself to the cover-up. I heard papers shuffling on her end. The Harrisons' attorney has filed the complaint. Fraud, embezzlement, conspiracy. Both Richard Halden and Bradley Halden are named. I let her words settle. There was no victory in them. Just wait. Allison exhaled slowly. This is no longer a family dispute. This is criminal litigation. I nodded even though she could not see me. I understand. The storm had finally broken. I felt every drop. I walked into the glass lobby of my office building just after 8 when I saw him, Richard, standing near the security desk like a man who had forgotten how to hold himself upright. His clothes were wrinkled, his eyes red, his hands twisting together. Marin, he said, stepping toward me. They are going to arrest me. You have to help. You know the numbers. You can make this look different. His voice cracked on the last word. I kept my bag on my shoulder. I cannot help you. You can, he insisted. You are my daughter. You fix things. You always have. People walking by slowed, pretending not to stare. I reached into my bag, pulled out a folder, and placed it in his shaking hands. Inside was the criminal complaint, Brad's post, and the ledger Allison compiled. I did fix things, I said. I fixed them by telling the truth. He looked down at the papers as if they burned. Marin, please. I am begging you. You disowned me. I answered quietly. You told me to speak to your attorney. So now you can speak to yours. I walked past him and into the elevator. When the doors closed, he was still standing there, small and silent under the bright lights. Brad broke first. Allison told me he took a plea deal, no prison time, but crushing debt and a reputation that would not recover. Richard followed soon after. The court found him guilty of felony fraud. 3 years in state prison. The house I once saved was seized and sold within weeks. I did not attend the sentencing. I did not need to. The outcome spoke for itself. A week later, my boss called me into her office. Marin, you handled an impossible situation with integrity. She said, we want you to lead the Forensic Audits Division. I accepted, not out of pride, but because the offer felt like solid ground. Something earned, not extracted. My new place overlooked the mountains, quiet, clean, unburdened, the kind of silence that did not hide anything. That night, I created a small blog and named it The Scapegoat Ledger. I wrote about financial abuse, invisible labor, and the cost of surviving families like mine. Within an hour, messages appeared from people across states, voices saying they finally felt seen. I added a small note beneath the post share where you are listening from. You are not alone in this. Then I closed my laptop, breathed in the stillness, and felt the balance finally return.